Hey guys, EDDBUD here, and today I've got a video for you documenting my second segment as part of the Shoetubers United Asics World Ekiden team. That's a lot of words. A long-awaited PR. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's good to have you with me. So I took on my second segment as part of the Shoetubers United Asics World Ekiden relay race. On the Sunday, this segment was 10k, 6.2 miles. So the 5k that I took on the day before was a little hampered by underfoot conditions, I've got to be honest, and the old dogs as well. I switched up the shoes this time round as I just missed out on my target of a sub 20. In fact, the Garmin said that I had 19 minutes 59 seconds, but I think that Runkeeper app, because it's using the GPS of the phone, caused a few problems. I know that Mike had to rerun the second segment for the race, which it must have been pretty demoralising to have to do that. I did a couple of test runs with the Runkeeper app last week just to make sure that I knew how it worked and any little tricks that it might try and pull on me. Either way, I was a little bit meh with the result. I did want to get under 20. So I had some renewed anger and frustration to unleash. This also prompted me to switch up the route for the 10k today. I left behind the leaf sludge-laden pathways of Nine Springs just back behind my house and went for the good old industrial estate. It turns out that industrial estate nearby is pretty much spot on 1k. So 10 of those, job done. I've got to be honest with you, shoe-wise, I went for something on a whim. I'd literally got out the front door in these and they were slipping at the back of my foot and it kind of completely threw me off, and I thought, I can't be having this. This is one of my favourite shoes, but the socks I had were not going to work with this shoe, no matter how tightly I tried to lace them up over the forefoot. So these went back in the box, and out came the Adizero Adios Pro. You might be thinking, why on earth did you choose those for a 10k, Ed? Well, I kind of thought that at the time. If you want to be my race shoe, 4-foot fit without a care. Light Strike Pro so cushioned, and the outsole never wears. What do you think about that? The roads on the industrial estate were going to be nice and dry, and of course this opened up some options to use some other shoes, and I just fancied having a go in this one, and it turned out it worked superbly well. That upper enables a really great lockdown, you know, over the top of the foot. It just feels like it's hugging your foot. I can't describe it, it's just so good. And the outsole performed fantastically on that tarmac road. It was super quiet over at this industrial estate too, which was a big bonus. Very limited chance of having to stop or slow down for any reason. I think running on road helps dramatically if you haven't got any stops. It's just too many people at that other route. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when we launch those new videos. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up like, it really does help the channel out. So after a quick 1 mile warm up over to the industrial estate, we are ready to rock. I'd set up my Garmin so I had a target pace range between about 6 minutes 40 and 7 minutes per mile. Gotta be honest, I went out a little bit hot on the first mile. 6 minutes 30 there, it was too much, but I managed to stabilise things back on the next 2 miles. They were around about 6:38 per mile, so keeping it just under that target pace zone, and heart rate round about 152 beats per minute at that point. So I was working, but in a sustainable sort of way. I think going out too hard is just a lack of race experience recently. There haven't been any. So the route itself had a total elevation of 271 feet, so not totally flat. There was a little bit of an ascent and then a downhill over and over again. So I think it's probably about 35 feet per lap. I did start to feel the pain at going out a little hot on miles 4 and 5. I think I'd gone back to about 6 minutes 44 per mile at that point, but I managed to keep on pushing through. Certainly that last 0.2 of a mile, it was about 6 minutes 7 seconds per mile. I really gave it what I had at the end. It's all that Christmas cake I've been eating. So Garmin and Strava has the time at 41 minutes 17 seconds, so really pleased with that. It knocks off about 40 seconds from the previous 10k record I had. As I say, the Runkeeper app seems to run off the phone GPS, and as such it isn't really at all accurate. It would have been better if perhaps you could upload your times from your watch. I think Garmin and the Kuros Pace 2 that I've been using are much more accurate, but even with the slightly longer time that the Runkeeper app recorded, still a PR. I think my last 2 best 10k times came in the Salisbury half marathon last year. That was 42:03 I think, and then before that it was at the Martok 10k and that was back in June of 2019, which was 42.48. So as I say, a good 40 seconds under that PR from last year. Really pleased with that. I knew I had it in the last mile, so I put the afterburners on as much as I could, and I was really happy as I heard the Garmin bleep to say I'd got through the distance. I was really pleased. That aside, it did feel nice and sustainable in terms of effort. If I'd gone at a more reasonable pace for the first mile, I think I could have carried on and held on to that. Don't know how long, but who knows. In terms of heart rate, I was firmly in that threshold zone and over 10 seconds under my target half marathon pace there. It was about 6 minutes 39 per mile average, so that's about 4 minutes 8 seconds per kilometre. Could I have done another 6.2 miles? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that would get me in at about 1 hour 27 on the half marathon, which would be insane. But I certainly feel that that 6 minutes 51 target pace for the half marathon is getting a little closer. Could I mentally take another 10 laps of that train estate in one go? I'm not sure. In fairness, I guess I could put a drink station somewhere there. Maybe even some snacks. Maybe I could get Mrs. EDDBUD and Fergus involved. They could do some filming too. Other shoe options, I guess I could have utilised the Next Percent, the Takumi Sen, the Rebels even, but I think I'm happy with my final choice. Certainly setting the PR, it felt real good in this shoe. In fact, I kind of forgot about the shoe after a while, completely. I think that's probably a good sign when you just forget about it. It was just working really well with me. Gotta say, it's all about that top tier trainer tension over the forefoot. I think you need to get this shoe to a faster cadence to unlock the magic, and round about that 6 minutes 40 per mile, it was feeling really good. I think the midsole setup just becomes more prominent at that pace. You get quite a sense of stability as well from that nice flat rubber outsole. You got the cushion there from the Light Strike Pro, and the rigidity from the energy rods. Still find it awesome that they've got energy rods inside them. And the shoe almost cleans up as well as EDDBUD. Obviously this is quite a departure from the Next Percent. It's not in any way the same feel, though I think it's becoming a little bit more natural to me running in this shoe. The more and more that I use it, the more I use the outsole, the better it feels. Have Adidas caught up to Nike then in this one? I think possibly, without the big fanfare and the hype. As you may have seen in Kafuzi's video, he had to rerun the last section of the Ekiden race. You'll be able to check that one out very soon. I have to say it's been a real pleasure running with the Shoetubers. Hopefully in the very near future, Kafuzi, Andy, Emily and I can all run together in real life. Things in the world are looking up. It looks like we could be doing that at some point in the not too distant future. It does make a difference when you're actually running with other people as part of a team. You feel like you're responsible for those segments and you've got to do your best. I'll have a full breakdown of our Asics World Ekiden race very soon. A quick musical interlude for you. Everyone thinks I'm the rock and roll guy and that's kind of all I'm into, but that's not always the case. I've got quite a varied musical taste, and today I dipped back into some of my favourites from 1997 from the artist Photek. On his album Modus Operandi, there were some fantastic atmospheric drum and bass tunes. I think my favourites from this album are Minotaur and Hidden Camera. I love the very punchy sampled drums on all of Photek's tracks. Some really interesting bass lines. Always so musical. Wonderful atmospheres. Nothing sounds cookie cutter. Just sounds like he's crafted every piece of every song. The artwork on Photek stuff was always absolutely superb too. I love listening to Photek when I'm running as well. Almost makes you feel a little bit like a ninja. I could imagine it working really well on a trail environment actually. I think Photek went on to become a very successful film composer over in America somewhere I think. Although he started off here in the UK doing that drum and bass stuff, so do go and check out some stuff from Photek. That late 90s stuff is probably the best. I don't think you'll regret it. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of today's video guys, I very much appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell below, which will give you notifications of when I launch those new videos. It really helps the channel out too if you give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you. Hey guys, EDDBUD here. So this is Sunday, second day, so the second run, 10k segment for the Asics World Ekiden 2020. I've decided to decamp to a trading estate because the route I was going to use today, there's just too many people there. it would be a pointless exercise. So I'm going to do it here. It's nice and quiet, and there's just a few people up and around doing various bits and pieces, but it's very quiet. So this is where I'm going to hit it today. I think it's going to be 10 laps of this, so let's get to it. Hey people, so that's it, 10k done and a personal best, 41 minutes 18 seconds, so I knocked about 40 seconds off of my personal best, which was I think back in September last year during the Salisbury half marathon, so really happy with that. I still had a fair bit left at the end. I did slow up, I think I went up too fast first 5k, but I managed to stabilise a bit, maybe around about 6 or 7 kilometres, and then got back onto it. So yeah, I think it's just lack of experience from racing this year. I think that would have helped pace, but well happy with that result. So jog back, and hopefully all the stuff that I left by the side of the road is still there.